So JD has scored a monster win. And the majority of the mainstream media is so salty about this, they pretend it either doesn't exist, they don't know anything about it, or if they mention it in snippets, but always is part of some greater hit piece. See, reality is, mainstream press, they spent 3 years colluding on an effort to try to cancel the man. They ran off many an advertiser, but the one advertiser that stuck with him, Dior, Sauvage, that's become one of the top world-selling perfumes, and for the first time ever, we're talking about a man's fragrance. The amount of money that Dior is bringing in, too, it is beyond staggering. You know, a lot of people are looking on. They're mad about this. The Warners, the mainstream media, and of course that certain Aquaman starlet. Yeah, fun times, huh? Fun times indeed. Oh man, so hey there to all you fine folks on this fine day, by the way. I hope you are doing excellently. And you know, when I saw this headline here, it really jumped out to me, not just because of what it was noting, but also because the mainstream media isn't noting anything about this at all. These are the searches that you get for JD. You'll notice everything that they bring up, if it's a success, like him getting a new role, it's unproven, it's controversial, that it might not work. And if they do manage to bring it up, well, it reads like a warning to any other advertisers telling you what exactly the media is going to brand you. Here, this is from the dailymail.com. They noted, this is their headline, "Wife rhymes with Walmart greeter. JD helps sales of Dior cologne to increase despite ruling which saw the star 58 quote-unquote canceled by some in Hollywood." Yeah, you gotta love when places like the Daily Mail pretend that you're not being canceled. They put the word in quotation marks to say, well, look at this success, while also saying that you're fair game. We can go after you and we can try to ruin you, thereby trying to cancel you. It's crazy, isn't it? See, here's the thing that these places, they do not want to tell you. Places like Christian Dior, places that make smart business decisions and actually listen to their customers, they have been on one heck of an upswing over the last few years. They hit bumps in the road, sure, because of things that have happened socially, but if you look over the last few months, you notice this really huge uptick. Where's that coming from? I can tell you it belongs to one name and one name alone, that being JD. See, it's like I was saying around UK 2020 when all of the truth about what transpired came out. The companies that decided to step away from the man, companies like Disney, companies like Warner, they would end up hurt in the aftermath. You've seen it too. Pirates of the Caribbean, yeah, no more movie there. You haven't seen 6 really mentioned, have you? You see the hit to Fantastic Beasts, Aquaman 2, but the companies that actually decided to stand with him, those they're singular too. Very few did, but the ones that do, well, look at headlines like this. With Sauvage by Dior for the first time. So this has never happened before, so you know exactly what caused it. A men's fragrance has risen to the top of the world's sales. AKA, not getting rid of that guy right there, he became a license to print money. Now, as far as that idea is concerned, too, a license to print money, I really want to put this into perspective because I'm sure you hear it all the time. But Dior, they really did get a license to print money by deciding to stand with JD. As far as bottles of Sauvage are concerned, every 3 seconds you have a bottle of Sauvage sold across the planet. Now, to truly give this some real-world perspective, I want you to think about this in terms of the average That Umbrella Guy video. My average video, it's 8 minutes and 21 seconds from beginning to end. So if you sit down, you watch the entirety of that, think about it this way. During that time, the man has sold almost 170 bottles of Sauvage. That's right, 170 bottles just with that video alone. Now you can see why Warner they're hurting, why Disney they're probably regretting their decision as well, and why the media is so salty. They wanted this guy ruined. They wanted any advertiser that stood with him to be ruined as well. And yeah, they're not. Instead, they're making bank. When I say making bank too, I mean these numbers, they are astronomical. I mean this is absolutely insane. We are talking about sales of 4.66 billion. That's right, billion with a B. Billion euros for the perfume branch. And if you read through this, those sales, that's only 9 months of sales. So in 9 months, they've made almost 5 billion euros. I mean, listen to this right here. That's what it's saying. Within the LVMH group, that's the owners of perfumes, Christian Dior, the entire perfume and cosmetics branch achieved sales of 4.66 billion euros in the first 9 months of 2021. I mean, that, like I said, that is absolutely crazy. Now, by itself, that number, it is impressive and beyond. I mean, really, think about 5 freaking billion euros. But when you start thinking about this in terms of market, like how much market that Dior actually represents, well, it gets a lot more interesting. If you look here, they're talking about the world perfuming market. That's how they call it, by the way, the perfuming market. Well, it was comprised of 31 billion euros in 2021. That means that Dior, one singular company that was told they would fail if they stood with this guy, they would lose money hand over fist, they represent around 15% of that entire market for 2021. Now, like I was saying before, you have proof of how this was accomplished, too. This wasn't a lot of other brands coming together and making this work. It was people standing with Dior because Dior, they decided to stand with JD. And you can see that spelled out right here. For the first time in the history of the world perfuming market, so the first time ever. And you know how long this market has been around. It's a male product that has risen to the top of the sales. All fragrances combined, female and male, Sauvage. So you have male and female fragrances outdone by this one thing. And again, it's people standing with that brand, buying that brand because they alone didn't cancel this guy, because they had the foresight to see, number one, accusation, that's not substantiation, and number two, when people are going out to cancel somebody, maybe, just maybe, that's not in your best interest. Maybe they're working in their own best interest. Maybe they're colluding behind the scenes with someone else, and maybe that will tank you if you listen to them. You let me know what you think about this, though, and as always, appreciate the heck out of you. You make this stuff work, so thank you. Can't say that enough. Want to help out the channel, by the way? Links in the description. Definitely check those out. But you being here, that matters most of all. So thank you. I appreciate you, and ending here. See you soon.